What's up, everybody? It's your boy VP here, chilling here with Prez, Nikos, and Brian. God damn. Yeah, like that.
About to blow out my ears.
Gotta keep the energy. We're here reviewing our first anime. What's the name of this show?
Fire Force.
No, the show on YouTube.
Oh, shoot. We're recording our first episode of Title to be determined later.
That's a long title just for an anime review.
So yeah, today we watched. It was Fire Force.
Yep. First episode dropped on Friday.
First episode dropped on Friday, like Press said, and we're gonna talk about it. We just got done watching it. I thought it was cool.
All right. How about we just start from the beginning, okay? So, as far as the beginning of the show, we saw someone just light up on fire from their cigarette, turn into this demon.
He wasn't even smoking.
He wasn't even smoking.
Oh, I thought
that was
a cigarette.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that was the best part of the show.
Yeah, that was the best part. I was like,
just people on the train like.
I legitimately thought he was like smoking a cigarette, and the cigarette lit up.
Nope.
The demon came out of him. You know what I mean? Yeah,
He said later on that was just spontaneous
Human combustion. What kind of issue is that to have in a world where you just gotta worry about just burning up for no reason?
Yeah, for no
No,
reason.
not even that. Just burn up and turn into a demon that kills people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can just happen to anybody at any time.
Anybody, anytime.
And this is clearly, everyone knows that it's from the Soul Eater team, and it clearly has a lot of that influence in there, like from the get-go.
Yes.
Up to the character design and everything.
Not the main character with spiky teeth.
True.
Yeah, just like Soul. He looks a lot like Soul. Red eyes and everything, too.
And the name of their god is Soul, too.
Oh, yeah, their name's...
Yeah.
Soul Eater is his full name.
So
So what do you guys think about the main character?
Oh man, he was
Shinra.
generic, very generic.
That's the thing. His backstory was split up. Like we saw glimpse, like throughout the episode. When we first saw the first glimpse, and it was like, "I want to be a hero, Mom." The first thing I said out loud was, "That's really generic as far as the backstory goes."
Yeah. We weren't really given any hint to his motivation at all for most of the episode.
Right, but it was pretty easy to figure out after like you found out the state of the world.
I mean, I want to talk about like the overall design of him. I don't know what it is about these animes. I kind of have mixed feeling when it comes to the main character not looking like a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at him, it's like when I first saw him, first thing I said was main character alert. I look at him like this dude look like a villain right here.
Well, that's the point. Like, that's part of the
That's
backstory.
like a cliche at this point.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say I have a mixed feeling of it. Now, when it's done correctly, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? It's just not many of them have done it correctly.
That's why I like Saitama, because he's bland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's bland as hell.
But as far as Fire Force goes, that fan service came in real quick.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
You know,
I ain't mad at it.
I mean, unpopular opinion, I don't like that shit.
I think it came in too fast.
Because I'm like, I feel like it cheapens what the show could be.
But, for the most part, it was only one scene.
That's one episode. Watch.
And
in the shower.
And like half
credits,
the ending.
Yeah.
Half the end.
This bitch sitting there with a t-shirt on and just throws water on herself for
we
no
gotta
reason.
get through the rest of the show before we talk about the ending.
Okay. So yeah, Shinra, as far as the character goes, the part I found interesting was his like smile thing going on.
You know what? I hate that too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really? Well, what bothers you about that?
Is that I know that guy or the team who makes Soul Eater, they like that smile. You could tell because when you watch
It
Soul
looked
Eater,
like a Soul Eater smile.
Soul smiles a lot. They all anybody with sharp teeth, they smile a lot. So I can tell they wanted to have a reason to implement it in this show, and it just seems kind of tacked on and kind of ridiculous to me personally. It just seemed like
That's a fair way to look at it, but for me, it's more like it looks like he got framed. Like, well, that's actually a question I have. So his mother, this is a lot of spoilers. Spoilers will be in the title of the episode.
and
but
like a big
so yeah,
spoiler
his mother ends up like becoming one of those infernals. It looks like, right? Like
They actually no.
He said one popped out and just killed both of them.
He said other than his mother. So I
There was
think
that's what he's saying. Something was there.
Right.
She was just on fire.
Yeah.
She didn't combust.
I like the way that I thought I understood it was that she became one of those
infernal.
Why was she
infernals.
talking then?
Why was she talking?
Because like I don't know.
So
like,
far,
something could.
So far, none of them been talking.
So,
Yeah.
But
what I
we
was-
also have only seen two.
I mean, still, but that's all I have to go off of.
Can I say what I was trying to say?
Well, we wasn't done.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a theory.
Okay, what's
You
your theory?
You go
What's
first.
your theory?
You go first, though.
Fine, I'll go first.
Of course he goes.
This is Prez.
Oh,
But no, here's my thing. When we saw him in the backstory, we saw a Fire Force agent with him holding his hand as a kid. So clearly an Infernal had to be involved at some point, right? Like, these aren't firefighters. These
No.
are Fire Force. They're specialized in the Infernals. So that's my thing. If there was a Fire Force guy there, there's clearly an Infernal involved, but still everyone's blaming the kid.
Right. Well, because he's a Generation 3 Infernal. He's technically an Infernal.
Is that how it goes? Like,
Yeah.
he's an Infernal?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can spontaneously
Gener-
create fire.
What was your theory, VP?
Well, my theory is, and it's quite, to me, it was kind of crystal clear because he saw that little demon face. Something broke in his house and killed his mom and brother. That's what happened. And because he's a Generation 3, I think it was already pre-established that he was a Generation 3, so they just blamed him. Which, outside looking in,
Looks
yeah.
like him,
Yeah.
And that's where I like how the smile plays in there, because he's
Yeah.
always smiling after seeing this scene. I can kind of see people being like, okay, that's really
Yeah.
suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ow.
And then another
The
thing
grandma's
is,
bad, though. That grandma was bad.
Yeah. And then another thing is, it kind of gives him, and I don't like this per se, but it kind of gives him like a revenge arc, a little thing, because he saw what it
was.
He
yeah.
saw something was there.
Yeah.
So he knows that something did this.
Yeah.
My theory is it's probably the dad.
we didn't see anything about his dad, so it could be.
That's what.
No, but you know, in a lot of these animes, I don't know what it is.
It'd be the
These
dad.
single moms, bro.
Exactly.
They don't.
Well,
Dad don't be
here's
there.
a question for you guys.
Wait,
How much you guys want to bet?
Child of death.
Oh.
How much you guys want to bet that the brother's alive and is gonna hate him?
He said it was. Oh, yeah, because they said they couldn't even find his body. He said
Yeah,
they wouldn't
the
even
dad
Even
took
the
him.
bones are gone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if the brother's alive and like he's gonna hate him?
That's generic.
Yeah,
That's
bad.
very
But
generic.
that's the thing, though. This show, animation-wise, I really like the animation style. When he's using the fire and everything, I thought that was really clean. But at the same time, so far as the story goes, it seems a little predictable.
Well, here's the thing, though.
It seems very tropey. Brian was actually saying that earlier.
We only watched the first episode, and I have a rule now that I try not to judge these animes on the first episode because when I first watched Gurren Lagann, I hated that show based off the first episode.
That took me a minute to get
I thought it
into,
was
too.
garbage. I really did. And now, you know,
Yeah, you were in the
I
drill
got
right
the
now.
drill. You know what I'm saying? One of my
We're in
favorite
the drill
animes.
necklace right
So I'm kind of anticipating. I'm kind of looking forward to the next episode because I want to see where they go from here. You know, I also want to know how his power works. Is there any growth that
That's
he can have as a
true,
power? Because
true.
he looks OP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
he
this
really-
world.
Yeah, he really does.
And then I also want to know, like, what are all the minute differences between the different generations of
That's
the
another thing.
pyrokinetics?
Well, that's the thing. It seems like the people that were already there, the two girls, the nun and the other chick, Maki, I think her name was. They seem to be previous generations because he can generate fire, but Maki seems to push it away. She's a pyrokinetic.
the nun doesn't have powers. They said that, like, in that little
Right.
Yeah,
announcement
she's
thing
just
with
there
her.
to give.
For everyone that likes to skip openings and endings in shows, watch the ending in the show. It's basically the nun's backstory. I mean, the point is, I'm saying, like, at least for first episode, folks, watch that ending.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of stuff to kind of go off of.
Yeah, except even though it is, like, that in-your-face etchy again real fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here's my problem. Like, I'm fine with fan service, but this was the first episode. And the first episode for any show sets the tone, and it's supposed to be what draws you in.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like adding fan service that quick kind of, like Brian said, almost cheapens it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can tell their main focus is probably going to be the action.
Oh, yeah, that- like
That's
I
what
said,
you're
that
here for.
animation's
You're not here
clean.
for the story like
And
that.
while we're talking about the action, the one thing that we all agreed on was when he first used his power,
Oh my!
there was like no distance between him and the enemy, but it looked like he was going for
It wasn't
miles.
even an enemy. A thing was going to fall on the nun, and it took him ages to. She would have got hit by the time he got there.
Like,
It took him
Yes.
so long.
like, go back and look at that scene where he's like
Cool
saving
scene.
the nun.
Cool scene,
It's
yeah.
really well animated, but when you look at the distance, you're like, this should be like a 2-second thing.
because he was like right there. He's like
He could have
jumping
walked over
stuff.
and just
Exactly.
pushed out the
Just
way.
And
ran.
then
Yeah.
when he's fighting the Infernal near the end of the episode,
Same
same
thing
deal. Because
happened.
we had a like shot of them like face to face, maybe 10, 15 feet away.
Yeah.
Easily
And then he's doing all this crazy stuff. I want to believe that that's because he was also dodging and stuff. Because there was more movement going
I believe
on.
that's what it appeared to be. Like, they were in the middle of the fight, so it's all the maneuvering.
But it still seems like distance is very exaggerated.
Yeah. I like that. I like the build up though for him to finally use his power. I was waiting for him.
That's
Set
another
position.
thing too.
He
It's
was
like-
going Super Saiyan for a second.
That's another
True.
thing these kind of anime suffer from, because I feel like he went through like a whole arc in one episode.
True.
That shit was rushed like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But that makes you question, like, what's the actual show
Yeah.
overall going to be like?
Yeah, but I'm like,
'Cause-
the payoff could have been better with that.
Because you know what's crazy?
Hmm.
It made me think of Blue Exorcist.
That's the
This
thing. I
show
get a
made
lot
me
of
think
Blue
Blue
Exorcist
Exorcist.
vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys know if Soul Eater also did Blue Exorcist? Like, is that
I'm
the same
not
team?
We'll have to check that out. But I got a lot of Blue Exorcist vibe, like the whole kind of like his backstory too, kind of
Right.
like he's something. You
But
know,
that Blue
people don't
Exorcist
like.
execution on that first episode was way better.
That's what I'm saying. But that's because they took time to establish like kind of their background and their father figure a little.
You're right. That was 3 episodes in actually when that happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel
Yeah.
like this episode should have been the first 3. They should have
Spaced it out.
spaced it out, maybe give him a little more time
Well,
with his
I think that's
team.
why I don't like this anime, 'cause I don't like Blue Exorcist.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, here's my theory. I think maybe they didn't want you to focus too much on this character, like his backstory and stuff. They're like, we just want to get this out of the way because the story to come is more important. We're gonna spread that out more.
I don't know.
Like establish him and start moving.
I'm like, for that to be the case, he'd have to be an interesting main character. Hopefully, he do something
Yeah.
to really
Might
make him
said something
stand out.
first.
Right.
I would have rather anime like this be more about the team than the main character.
Yeah, Sam.
Oh yeah.
Because he's so obviously like way more OP
Yeah.
than everybody else. Does he even really need them? Like, to be honest.
That's what I think they need to expand on, like
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
purpose. Because he did allude to the teamwork and calmness
Right.
saves more life than heroics. So I'm thinking maybe later on something might happen.
As far as the team goes, like the one question I asked you guys before was, is the nun's whole purpose just to pray for these people they're
Well,
murdering?
so my thing about the nun is, so my overall theory of this thing, they're talking about they need to figure out what is causing this. I think it's obviously demons of some sorts. That's what screams to me. That's why it feels like Blue Exorcist. And she's there to help the soul get to the afterlife. You know, move on. And they literally said they save souls
Right.
because it seems like they just have no remnants of what they are, but their soul is still trapped there. That's why they're still alive and still moving and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta kill it, but then save the soul. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It seems like this society has a lot of religious undertones, and I'm kind of interested to see how the rest of the world is. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of the world,
They live in a chapel,
Yeah, that's
in a
weird.
cathedral.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they live.
So one thing that you pointed out, like right away when when the show opened up, is the city looks a lot like Legend of Korra.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot like that.
Yeah. Very what would you call it? Like steampunk?
Maybe.
Not really steampunk too much, but
Just steam,
I kind
just
of get
steam
where
technology, I guess.
I kind of get where you're coming from.
Yeah, so that's I think the purpose of the nun there is just basically for the benefit of the
Right.
demon they're fighting, because they don't necessarily see them as, oh, this is an evil thing, we have to kill it. They see it as this is a tortured soul that needs help getting onto the afterlife. That's why her importance is there. You know what I'm saying?
And there's clearly other characters we haven't met yet because of the opening that we saw.
Yeah.
Like there's that chick with the fire cat stuff going on.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
wanna know,
that'd just be another addition.
I want to
that
know who's
comes into-
the Fire Force guy that was with the main character when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one holding his hand
Yeah.
when he was being accused
I
of
wonder
being
will they even touch on that, or is he just like a generic guy?
I hope
Watch
not.
him be the main villain.
I hope. I hope that's not the case. I want them to. That's what I'm saying. I want them to kind of expand more on his backstory, because from what we got here is very generic, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
later down the line, you know, we'll see these little differences and more complexity to it.
So I think that's the one thing we can all agree on. The big drawback right now is how generic everything seems to be. The standout points are the concept is interesting.
Very interesting.
Like the firefighting demon in human combustion, that's all brand new. I like it. I'm interested. And the animation for the combat, that's very clean.
Yeah, very crisp.
At least to me, it's not so much that like his backstory and that is so generic, because most of the time, cliche generic things can be done well. It's just like, to me, the execution of it. was kind of lackluster, so that's why it seems like the bad type of generic.
Because when I first saw it, I thought he was the cause. I thought he killed his mom and sister. I actually would have liked that more than what we got. Instead of the whole, this demon broke the house. Oh, no, I'm a monster. I would have preferred that.
I had a similar theory to you where I was like, all right, I think they became Infernals. Yeah. But then I thought he put them down as Infernals. And that's how his power awakened.
As a kid, he's just like, oh, they died.
And kicked their hearts out.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they could have literally did anything besides what they did.
Yeah. I don't like the setup of a bad guy. I don't like that setup. This world doesn't need a main antagonist.
He even said that too. He's like, I want to find out who did this. Like it was I thought these were just mindless, just anomalies that happen.
I would have liked to see later down the line that maybe it is a demon causing it, like a big demon, but I would have liked it to be more like a natural phenomenon type thing. Like
it's hard to deal with it.
Yeah, but here they kind of already established like, oh, there's people out there, things out there that can control these things. There's probably going to be other Generation 3s that are just evil.
The Firecat's probably Generation 3.
Yeah. So,
The
Firecat,
the one
the
from
girl
the
opening, because that's she looks like she's producing fire.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily like that. I think that's probably going to be like depending on how long this anime goes, how much support it get. I can see that being like an arc later down the line, like, oh, we got to fight Generation 3s. Who knows what they're doing?
Generation 4s out to take the stage.
Exactly.
Or it's gonna be revealed there's a generation that can control the Infernals. I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
The opening was good.
The opening was beast mode.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the music was all pretty good.
That's what we mean by the opening.
It's okay. I like how the vehicle is called the Matchbox. That's hilarious to me.
That was pretty ironic. Yeah.
It's like, y'all just...
So, what do you guys say let's close off like this. What's your least favorite part about the first episode, favorite part about the episode, and what are you hoping to see?
So, my least favorite thing about the anime was how they kind of try to do too much of the backstory of the main character in the first episode. I think it kind of takes away from the overall flavor of the anime. If you're going to do a first episode, I think they should have just established the characters, established the world, show off, the action, what this story's about. They could have ended with maybe something hinting at his backstory that will kind of draw you in more, and then go from there. But it was kind of like main character, and I'm just sitting like, I want to see them fight. The whole time, like, I want to see them fight.
Yeah.
And what would you say your favorite part was of the episode?
Oh, the action. And the sound. The sound was awesome. Like, the sound of, like, the fire,
like the overall sound
design.
design.
It was really cool. It gets me excited to see the crazy stuff they're going to fight later on.
Yeah.
So, and last thing, obviously, what you want to see later on. Like,
They'll fight more crazy stuff. I would like to see how the character can grow, not just as, development, but as power, because that world, it seems like he's OP. So I want to see what else is there. What's the drawbacks? There don't seem like any drawbacks to this fire stuff.
All right. What about you, Brian? Least favorite, what you want to see?
I agree with
VP.
Thank you. About the whole, them showing his backstory in the beginning, because it's like the pacing of the first episode. I guess overall, that's the overall thing for me, was the pacing. It was like way too much jam-packed into one episode where it could have been spread out better to better flesh it out. Especially like the backstory. I feel like that's very important, because that's the reason your character is the way he is.
Right.
That's important. So you should properly do that, so it's properly felt. Especially because like something like you seeing your mom and your brother die,
that's a big thing.
That's supposed to hit. Like, ooh, man.
Apparently, like burned to death too.
Yeah,
like
brutal. That's one of the worst ways to die. When that junk happened, I'm sitting there stone faced. Like I was like, that's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, I just didn't feel anything. And as far as like what I liked,
the characters being ripped.
No, like I guess the action, but in these animes, at least at this point in my life, I want more than just action. Especially because I've seen shows have the action and have the story.
Right.
But the action was good. I can't deny that. It was all the animation shit, beautiful, sound beautiful, all that stuff is good.
That's one that surprised me. The fact that sound was. So
I
good.
wasn't expecting like the hits when they hit. There was so much impact that that weird
the little crisps to the flames and stuff.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That's attention to detail.
Yeah. And as far as the future of the show, I'm actually more interested in the world
Okay.
and how that whole religion and how that whole thing gets expanded upon, because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of like vague right now. But
It
I really
really
want to
does.
know what all this is. Like, are we ever gonna see this God soul, or is that gonna play a part? Where do these souls go? You know, is there a place? Can we see it? What's the opposite of that? What's hell? What is that?
Yeah.
You know,
To me, it just seems like a general monotheistic religion,
I have no
and
idea
they're
what that
just trying
means.
one God religion,
Oh,
where they're just trying to give people some comfort with the idea of them murdering people.
yeah, because it seemed like, when she would pray over their bodies or whatever, nothing really happened. I was expecting more visual.
There's no
visual,
buffs or anything.
Yeah, more visual representation. Like
Yeah.
they
I don't
just
think
faded away.
It's not one of those type of things.
I know it's not, but it's like they really hitting it home. Oh,
Yeah.
just pray every time. Every time I
Every
fight
time.
somebody, you pray every
I
time.
mean, don't they have priests in firehouses?
Do they?
I always thought
Do
they
they,
did.
Nikos?
At least not to my knowledge that I've seen.
Nikos going to be a firefighter, so that's what we asked.
I always
Yeah.
thought they had like a fire, like a priest that would just
Like-
pray before they go out.
Can we not just pray ourselves?
I
What's
mean,
to stop everybody else
yeah,
from praying?
but I
There
think
could be like a chaplain that could
Yeah, like a
also
chaplain,
be
yeah.
there, but I don't believe
I-
it's mandated.
I know because I do work for the government. There's always like a sheriff department. They have a chaplain and they pray before they go out and all that stuff. It's just the men's focus is not on that, and that's
Right.
that's the reason.
All right, and Nikos, it's your turn now.
So I'm not gonna be I
The
just
person who
lost
knows
my
English?
Yeah.
I just lost my
Will to live.
thought on what.
Let them talk.
It's gonna take longer if you don't let them talk.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna beat down the dead horse
Mm.
much more. So one of the parts I didn't really like, and this is coming more from my experience with going through Fire Academy, and that is the outfit design. Like, it was pretty cool, but just through my training in that, it does nothing for protecting them against the fire.
He walking around barefooted.
Yeah.
Hey,
He made
oh
it.
yeah, he can walk up fire, produce
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
there's only one guy in there that had like
Good fire,
full
Jesus.
protection. Then only the nun had the respirator on to be able to
Yeah,
breathe.
true.
And my mind was just going like, there are so many byproducts from that fire in there. Like, they would be
love it.
suffocating.
He's
It's just like,
he's so technical.
because that's what I literally
Yeah.
just finished my Fire Academy training like
Good
a
job.
couple months ago. And this is so fresh in my mind. Just like, I can't get that out of my head.
He over here like they
You know
did.
y'all dead, right?
All right.
But one thing I
go.
do like is that kind of the uniqueness a bit of the enemies, the spontaneous human combustion. I don't think we've really ever seen that in any other animes or read in manga or anything. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
pretty unique. Like, that threw me off a little bit. I didn't know that they'd actually, like, through all the trailers in there, I didn't think that they were fighting like actual people that just combusted. I thought it was just like a fire demon came out and they have to go
Yeah.
and fight it.
And they all seem to be unique too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all different looking.
And then one thing I hope for is like to figure out what that like King Infernal was, is whatever he saw.
Yeah.
Get like the story on that,
Yeah.
or why Infernals can happen.
Gotcha. So
Excuse me.
no problem. The thing that I like the most about the show so far, is actually his fighting style. Cause I ain't never seen anything like
Just
that.
from all feet.
Yeah, cause you used to like punching or swords or something very much like that, and this guy's just going
He
in
got
like
that shoe style.
yeah, he got that shoot. He's got that rocket fire bending
He's
shoot
Bakugo
style.
mixed with
Zuko.
Oh yeah, he's Bakugo mixed with like Deku or something.
And
mixed with Zuko.
Yes, with Zuko.
That's dope.
That's the thing, look, because
Yeah.
we've seen firebending where they've done that.
Yeah.
Like they're doing very similar things
Yeah.
in Avatar, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, I don't know too many animes that actually have the main character kicking like this. This is really interesting, the way he moves around and everything. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
My least favorite part right now is, I would say actually the content of the fight. The fight seemed too quick.
Yeah.
Like they were quality, and I liked what I saw when I saw it, but I want to see more.
He killed both the enemies in like one or
One
two
shot.
hits.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I always
And that pile bunker kill was nice though.
Yeah.
I love pile
Yeah.
bunkers.
I love that when they do anime.
So, and that's actually what I want to see more of in the future. I want to see more of the other characters, like the captain.
Mhm.
He's going in there just punching things with a power bunker. I want to know what's up with him.
Yeah.
Who is this insane man who is all about just punching fire demons in the chest and blowing them apart?
Right.
Please ignore that sound in the background. Nico's causing problems.
I think that's you.
No, that's Brian's phone.
Oh.
That's not even. What is that?
Anyways, so yeah, I want to see more about the team, their backstories, and what they're capable of going forward. You know,
Right.
Because they seem interesting to me. Please turn that off. Jesus.
Nothing.
We can complain about them later.
Jesus. I'm like, what
But
the
yeah, so
hell?
Brian, like I was saying, I want to see more about the team because they all seem unique and actually interesting as far as the team goes. Like that
Right.
Glasses guy, he's got some kind of vendetta, grudge stuff going on.
Yeah.
The Cap, it's exactly who I think it is, isn't it?
Just keep going.
Okay, but yeah, Captain, he's the main one I want to see more
Yeah.
about. Just this insane dude going around punching fire demons in the chest.
And popping ice or whatever it was.
It's a pile, it's a
So
spike.
Oh, it's a spike.
It's a pile bunker.
Oh.
They straight up said like he's just using a pile bunker. I'm like, this dude's insane.
And that was also the only one that had like
The full gear, yeah.
protection.
Only smart guy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my thing. Like we've seen there's characters there, and I want to see more of them. They seem
Yeah.
interesting, and I want to know their details. I want to see them fight a little more too, get their moment in there. Because this episode was definitely about Shinra. Like they
Yeah.
all stepped aside when he started like saying, "Oh, it's my turn."
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
powered up, and they
That's
all
what I'm
watched
saying.
him.
Like they make it seem like he's the guy. you
Yeah.
know? It's
It-
supposed to be the team.
Right. That's the thing. I want to see more team.
Yeah.
As far as the show goes overall, I do think it's worth watching. Like,
Oh, yeah.
don't get our criticisms wrong. We're trying to be fair, but personally, I think it's worth watching. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the story develops.
Yeah. I was just gonna say a little disclaimer. So
Just go ahead and say your disclaimer now.
my only disclaimer is, take this with a grain of salt. It is the first episode of a new series. Usually, new series are lacking in the first episode. That's just
I don't know.
it
My
is.
Hero got me right away.
My Hero did not get me.
No,
right
I
away.
hated My Hero.
Yes.
First. I hated My Hero like the whole
But
first
y'all
season.
love it.
and I love it now. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure as we go on, you'll get a clear picture of what this anime has to offer.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time.
Peace.